And talking about KPIT partnership with Intuitive Surgical, they've been implementation partners for quite some time, and they've been heavily involved in our EDW road mapping and BPM and data quality initiatives, and especially in ETL designing. And recently, they've been involved in the SAP BW and BO consolidations and SAP HANA. So talking about the HANA roadmap, we had a pretty hard schedule. We have about like 4 months of project timeline to complete and go live. So our approach was purely a technical migration. We did not have to improve any functionality or add any enhancements to the system. We just like wanted to upgrade our enhancement packs and then migrate to HANA to add more value to the business. And so we had to achieve 2 migrations at the same time. One is for ECC. We were in EHP 7. We had to migrate to we had to upgrade to EHP 8 and then migrate to HANA database. And our database size is around about 1.6 TB. This is in memory in HANA. And the HANA database version is 1.0 and support pack 12. And we had about 550 custom objects that had to be reviewed and corrected, which is where the KPIT auto correction tool added greater value to us, which helped us to speed up the timeline of the development schedule. And on the CRM side, like we migrated from EHP 1 to EHP 4 and then on HANA. So it was a big jump on upgrade perspective from enhancement pack 1 to enhancement pack 4. And then the migration to HANA also. So the value addition for the HANA is specifically in ECC and CRM, the day-to-day activities performed by the business users. It's not too fast enough. Sometimes some of the programs, it runs for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and they keep complaining about the performance of the system, where we have checked everything in the code, everything looks okay, just because the data is huge and the things are taking longer time than it should. So that is the reason why we thought about HANA. Okay, like let's implement with the suite on HANA first and see how the performance is improving. And that's the main reason why we started this implementation. And we had only 4 months of timeline, and we had to complete this. Can you go to the next slide, Hans?
Excellent. Thanks, Arun. Maybe just allow me to elaborate a little on some of the challenges that we see with clients moving and taking advantage of, wanting to take advantage of the HANA database. There's obviously typically an upgrade that's involved to the enhancement pack version that permits you to do the migration. But quite often companies are also concerned about the custom code that has been created and developed over the years that SAP has been installed. It's not uncommon for customers to be on SAP 15, 20 years, and in the early days where there was not a whole lot of out-of-the-box functionality available, companies proceeded with building their own custom solutions through ABAP coding, through the normal procedures, but even sometimes modifications themselves were introduced as well. I would say in addition to that, also beyond the large volume of custom code that may exist in an environment, also with the evolution of the ABAP syntax itself, the best practices have changed. SAP has introduced new capabilities on what you can do from an ABAP coding perspective. There were some aspects that were database specific, some things that were, I would say, a little more forgiving. For example, if you would be running on an Oracle database from a sorting perspective, so capability and features that came with the database itself. And overall, it becomes then difficult to analyze out of this code what is still actively being used at this point, because cleanup may not have always have happened. What is really being impacted because of the change that you're moving to a higher enhancement pack, but also to the HANA database, which behaves different from because it is a clump-based database, a memory database, compared to a more traditional role-based database. So there are some changes in the way that the data within the database itself is being presented to the application server. You have to code it in a different way. So obviously there are some changes that have to be analyzed, and how do you go through this entire process? that in itself it can be quite cumbersome, time-consuming, and problematic. In addition to that, for those customers who are not just looking at doing a HANA database swap to Suite on HANA, but particularly for those who are looking ahead and looking at the S4 Enterprise Management version or even S4 Simple Finance, there's also some implications because of the simplification and elimination of some of the consolidated tables that SAP has replaced with the database views. So again, also here, there's a potential impact on your custom code, depending on whether if you've done direct table updates, or if you've extended those tables with custom attributes, etc. So all of this analysis has to happen in order to get the full insight of what really the scope of a project is, how many objects are you dealing with, and how do you then proceed with the actual correction of these objects in a timely manner within your time frame.